All right. Let's see here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, give me a second. All right. Sorry for the delay. So we're gonna take a look here at the GFS. We're gonna look at the overall setup. Let me get my pen going here. All right. So here's our time frame. You can see the GFS has turned quite a bit colder. We're looking at overnight Thursday, so that's obviously going to also help us in terms of the overnight hours. So late evening Thursday into the day on Friday. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. So basically, what the previous models were kind of showing we've got two main pieces of energy come on shore, Southern California, and they really start to amplify. Previous runs, what was happening is these pieces of energy were kind of screaming to the north, northeast. They were amplifying late over like Nebraska, and it was allowing this northern boundary to kind of push north, which would allow the storm to ride above this. This is what we're really watching for, this confluent line here, to see how far south this can really get. The storm is essentially going to, based off the amplification, the storm is probably going to follow this boundary line. It's not probably, it's definitely going to follow this boundary line. Seeing where this sets in and how far south this can press is going to be probably the main factor. And we can look up here, a huge upper level low well into northern Canada is causing this. And you can kind of see if we go back here, it kind of regresses a bit as the system pushes in. But what's helping us and what's aiding us here is this boundary line is actually being held north. This boundary line is being held north because the amplification of this upper level low to the the southwest, is allowing for things to kind of progress east while it's also staying south. Holding this system south longer is going to be more beneficial. That's why you kind of see the amplification process take a little bit longer than on previous runs. If we go back and we look at let's go to yesterday's 12Z run, we can kind of see how this kind of all amplifies over the Midwest as opposed to like the Four Corners region. And that's going to allow things to ride up, and that'll allow the low to pop off a little bit later and amplify north, even though there is cold air present, strong high to the north. It's just going to ride that boundary and not really have much room to wiggle there. Looking at the 500 setup, and we can kind of see the trend too. If we look, this is from yesterday. This thing's been slowly shifting south. The Euro originally had it south, and then it kind of met like a middle ground on the previous run. So we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But that's the essential dynamic on that. Let's go to 500 now, and we kind of see now the interesting part is the energy and the convection out ahead, just like any other real legitimate cross station. Let him out. Let him out. Thank you. We're going to see the amplification of this short wave kind of really pop off our low and decide on where it wants to be. What are you screaming about? So we're going to see where this surface low kind of wants to pop off. A lot of the guidance that's been showing the snowier solutions, this remains slightly weaker as it moves a little bit further to the east. So what we end up getting is a really weak progressive wave, which is going to allow for snow basically from the Midwest well into the Northeast. And what will happen is as this gets a little bit further to the east, we kind of see it kind of wants to dig there. We're never going to get this phase. This would have been specifically a nor'easter had we gotten this timing a little bit sooner. This northern port wants to dive down. It will influence this southern piece of energy though, and we would get a weak area of low pressure along this wave. Getting this weak area of low pressure is what would be the shot for our area to really enhance some snowfall. We would get the original overrunning snowfalls, as you see here. If it were let me go back here to the 06 run. We would get all this overrunning snowfall here, and then we start to see that low pressure system pop. But you can see that board is significantly weaker compared to the previous runs. So having that board significantly weaker allows for the cold to press a little bit quicker, and it allows for that overrunning snow and that elongated stretch. And then a weak area of low pressure could enhance some snowfall back into PA and then into New England. Now the main concern here obviously is very cold air and a ridge popping up from the south, is that this boundary line is going to have mixed temperatures aloft and at the surface. So the main concern isn't really so much the snowfall. Somebody will get it'll be a significant snowfall, especially out in the Midwest. Now where in our area it really sets up is the question. But the question is the ice line. Where does that ice sit up? Because there's the opportunity for some significant freezing rain. I don't really see much in terms of sleet because the surface cold isn't as steady there. We do have a decent ridge pumping. So my main concern really at that point is going to be the freezing rain portion. So So there could be a significant area of freezing rain stretching like 50, 60 miles north and south on this. If we take a quick look at the European and how the European now sees it, and ensembles are still fairly split on that as well. This was the 06, it doesn't go out far enough, but if we look at the OOZ Euros, same deal. The cold holds on for a little bit, and then it ends up pushing through past this ridge. And then we go ahead and see another, like I said, an area of mixed precipitation, freezing rain, and then snow well to the north. How far south this goes is going to be what we're going to be watching for over the next few runs. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to do another live tonight. I just wanted to do a quick rundown of this. This is the first live I've done on Patreon, so I'm not sure if people can even see it, comment on it during it. I'm learning how to use this, at the same time everybody else is. But there's going to be more lives, private lives on here, and then I'll try to do them. I'll try to schedule them out so people know and they can come in and ask questions. And it'll be a little bit more personable for the people that pay for the Patreon. Comment on the video if you have any questions for the next video. Or had any issues seeing it or hearing it, or anything like that. This video will also be available on my YouTube, which I'll post, and you should be able to rewatch this also on Patreon. So we'll do another one. This is kind of just a test run to see how this live works, and we'll go from there. But I appreciate everybody. Thank you. And we'll do another live coming up here a little bit later today on Patreon